We are doing the right thing for Kenya. We want to protect this nation.
Kenya's digital space is on fire. President William Ruto's new Cybercrimes Act has been halted by an angry High Court just days after he signed it. Civil society is calling it a digital gag. Ruto says it is a moral shield for the youth. And now, Kenyans are threatening to take to the streets again. This isn't just about technology. It is about power, control, and who gets to speak in Kenya's new digital age.
The bill seeks to provide a regulatory framework combating unlawful activities, inappropriate sexual content of minors, terrorism or religious extremism, and cultism, amongst other forms of cybercrimes.
At a funeral in Laikipia, Ruto went off script. Visibly frustrated, he accused critics of peddling lies and weaponizing misinformation to divide the nation. This law has been in existence since 2018, he said, and the amendments were passed by Parliament. In Ruto's framing, the changes are small but essential, meant to protect young Kenyans from cyberbullying, pornography, and online terrorism. But critics say those small tweaks give the government sweeping new powers, fines up to 20 million Kenyan shilling, and jail terms of up to 10 years for what could be as simple as an offensive tweet.
Amendment ilianza 2024. Amendment ilifanywa na bunge. Mimi niliamuka on Wednesday. Mimi nikiwa na kwa sababu hiyo ndio ilikuwa kazi yangu ya siku hiyo. Na ni kazi ya kikatiba ya kutia mkono sheria, kwa sababu ilikuwa imepita viwango vyote. Nikaletewa na speaker. Bahati mbaya tukapoteza waziri wetu mkuu wa zamani, lakini tayari nilikuwa ofisini kwa hiyo kazi. Hata nilikuwa nimevaa shati, nilikuwa naenda Ukambani kwa mambo ya barabara. So I was on duty just like any other citizen. Hakuna kitu ya kuficha, hakuna kitu ya giza, hakuna kitu inafanywa usiku. We are doing the right thing for Kenya. We want to protect this nation from situations that undermine the well-being of the young people of our nation, the well-being of the people of Kenya, the security of the country, na yale mambo mengine ambayo yatatusaidia.
The Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Amendment Act 2024 expands the definition of cyber harassment to include any communication that causes fear, distress, or offense. That is legal language broad enough to cover memes, satire, or political criticism. It allows authorities to block websites, remove content, and monitor online activity under the justification of fighting digital crime. Ruto calls it modernization. Digital rights groups call it intimidation.
The amendments to the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act, in essence, seek to control and crush political dissent and protests in the guise of protections from cybercrime.
The backlash came fast. Article 19 KHRC and other rights bodies slammed their amendments as unconstitutional. They argued the law undermines Kenya's Bill of Rights, violating Article 33 and 34 on freedom of expression and media. The petitioners also say it overlaps dangerously with the Data Protection Act of 2019, opening the door to surveillance and censorship.
The truth is, the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act was assented to by President Uhuru Kenyatta in May of 2018. The provisions of Section 27, which I saw even a judge of the High Court yesterday being misled by the culture of misinformation to suspend, were assented to by President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2018.
Among them is gospel musician turned activist Kigame, who personally filed the petition against the state. He called the law a digital muzzle disguised as morality, and the courts listened. Justice Lawrence Mugambe swiftly suspended the most controversial section, 27A, B, C, and 2, pending a full hearing on November 5th. It was a direct slap to the executive, a reminder that in Kenya, even the internet has a constitution.
What we need to let our people know is that the process of lawmaking is clearly stipulated in our constitution and in our law books. And there is no crisis that would lead to us banning country because of a legislation. If there were any excesses in any law, the courts are there to oversight. And that's why we are inviting even this engagement that is calling us to answer in the courts of law as to the laws that we passed. Because Parliament is not a law unto itself.
The state insists the amendments are necessary. Government spokesperson argue Kenya faces rising threats, phishing, SIM swap scams, online extremism, and the law targets real criminals, not critics. But in a politically charged environment, few believe that, especially after Ruto's own allies like Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale framed the law as part of a national moral rescue. To many, this feels like a power play dressed as policy.
Today, another judge of the High Court has been misled by that culture of misinformation and disinformation to suspend provisions of a bill that is fake on social media. Bishop, na ndio nilifurahi wakati nilisikia ukihubiri hapo mambo ya ukweli. Jana nimesikia viongozi wa kanisa wakikemea rais sababu ya kutia sahihi.
Kenya's love-hate relationship with free speech isn't new. The 2018 Cybercrimes Act faced similar court challenges and partial suspension. Now in 2025, the script feels eerily familiar, only the stakes are higher and the players more polarized. The country's digital frontier has grown. TikTok, X, YouTube, and so has political expression. That is what makes this law so explosive. It collides directly with a generation that refuses to be silent. Ruto signed the act on October 15th, the same day Raila Odinga's death was announced. Coincidence? Critics think not. Lawyer Miguna accused Ruto of sneaking the law past the public during national mourning. Former Chief Justice David Maraga didn't hold back either, calling it legislation born of bottomless greed. Opposition voices warn that the timing reveals intent to control online narratives before political storms intensify.
The Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Amendment.
Online it scales. Policy analysts like Shoba Gatimu warned the law could criminalize simple opinion. Activists Boniface Mwangi and Okiya Mutata are calling for mass mobilization, saying this is bigger than cybercrime. It is about the soul of the 2010 Constitution. The youth, especially Generation Z, are restless. Last year they flooded the streets against the finance bill. Now they are ready to defend their right to tweet, post, and speak without fear. As November 5th court date looms, the stakes are national. Will the judiciary stand firm again, or will Ruto's government tighten its digital grip under the guise of order? Either way, the verdict will decide whether Kenya remains a beacon of online freedom or joins the growing list of African states policing thought in the name of security. In this digital war for Kenya's voice, silence might just be the loudest Silence might just be the loudest protest. For Maisha TV, I'm William Juma.